Hello, welcome to Geeks and Niche. This is episode 89. As usual, I'm Mark.
And I'm Jasmin. And before we get started, if you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get notified when we upload new videos. And if you are just listening on your podcast platform, thank you so much. We would also very much appreciate a 5-star review on either Spotify, Podchaser, or Apple Podcasts.
Do you want to let everybody know where you are in case they're thinking, what on earth, are you in a prison somewhere?
Oh, yeah, my background's very different. I don't have my usual fun stuff. That's because I'm on my small laptop. I am currently in Cape Town, South Africa. I have been here for about a week and a few days. I got a few more days here to round out my 2-week trip, and then I'm headed back to the States.
What have you been doing while you've been in Cape Town?
Everything. It has been so amazing. I love the city. It's really great.
Have you been before?
No, never.
Okay.
This is my first time to Africa, so this is my 5th continent. Very exciting. Just two left, and I'll have hit the entire globe.
Russia is Russia next?
Oh, no. I'm good.
Not right now. Not right now.
Yeah, no, not anytime soon.
Well,
Yeah, I've been doing some cool stuff. I climbed a freaking mountain. Never thought I would do that. I did some ATV riding in the sand dunes and sand surfing in the sand dunes. I saw penguins. I've just been like, I don't know, man. Like, I've been living my best life. Like, I've not looked at my work email for 9 days. I met some really cool people. I'm still got a couple of activities planned for later this week. But yeah, I'm super stoked, super tired all the time. Went to a winery, bought some local wine. It is delicious. So yeah, I've just been living it up, enjoying my vacation.
that's amazing. Like, yeah, I have not gone away for as long as you, but last weekend I also was away, and nowhere near as far as nowhere as far as what you've done. Like, I got on a little cruise, 3-night cruise from Portsmouth in England to
that looked like
Bruges. Yeah, I went to Bruges, like one day at sea.
Oh my God, did you watch In Bruges while you were on your way to Bruges?
Oh no, I've never seen the movie either. Like, I know it's not the amount of times people keep saying to me, "Have you seen In Bruges?" I was like, no, I've been to Bruges, but I've not seen the movie. This is my third. That was my third time to Bruges. The last time that was like 20 years ago, so
okay.
It's been some time. But yeah, no, I think Bruges is really nice. Like, just like order a large beer, you can't go wrong. So.
Oh man, beer here is so cheap. I had like I don't know the conversion in English, but like it's a 500 milliliter beer. It was like $2.50. It was like, oh, this is trouble.
This is trouble. How many have you had?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Hold on, 500 milliliters in pints. Oh, that is a pint. 500 milliliters is a pint.
Okay, yeah. So a pint of beer for $2.50. It's like
that's really cheap.
Yeah,
that's really cheap.
Have
you had more than 10 beers this week?
I'm not answering. I'm just saying the beer is cheap.
And have you had more than 20 beers this week?
I've been here 9 days. You do.
Oh, okay. So you've had at least 3 or 4 a day. So has there any been days where you've crossed over the 5 mark on an individual day?
No comment.
Definitely have. On the last night of my cruise, I had like 5 drinks in 2 hours. Like, you know,
wow.
Like,
nice.
That wasn't just beers though. I can't do beers in 5 hours, not 2 hours. Like, I did like 2 beers and then I moved to shorts, like Jack Daniels.
The shorts?
Yeah, shorts. Yeah, shorts.
This is the first time we've been this close time zone wise.
Oh yeah.
I am now an hour ahead of you.
Are you an hour ahead?
Yeah, I thought it was 2, but I forgot about the time change. So it's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, this is actually quite nice. I don't have to wait up for you, or you don't have to get up early for me, which only happened one time. So not 99% of the time I have to stay up late. There's only one time where you got up early. So In fact, pretty much always it's me who stays up late. So it's quite nice that it's like
Yeah. I
actually a
don't know how you
reasonable
do this,
time.
man. I really don't. Like, I'm already like, oh my God, I'm so tired.
It's only 9 o'clock now. Like,
It's almost 10.
oh, okay, sorry. Well, sometimes before we do it, I go to the gym, like, or a walk, or I have had a sleep before. That's not ever a good idea.
Late in the day. If I were to take a
No,
nap anytime after 4 o'clock, like I'm sleeping all night.
no, but I sometimes it's not by choice. Sometimes I just literally just my head is gone. Like, and then sometimes I wake up to like 4 messages from you going, "Are you awake? Are you awake?" I'm like, "Yeah, come in."
Yep,
Like,
on my way. Don't you
like
worry.
no, sometimes it's even sitting here. Like I'm like, oh, head's gone. Like, and like, I think no, to be honest, most of the time, like I love going to the gym anyway, so I'll just quickly go for a half an hour at the gym or an hour at the gym or something like that. So, or sometimes even an hour and a half if I've got a bit of time. So, wakes me up, which is always good. But yeah, like, so yeah, I haven't been anywhere as crazy as you have. However, we are now at the point where we're almost 2 weeks away from meeting in real life, Jasmine.
I can't believe it. It's been like 10 years. Like,
Have you booked it yet?
yeah, I have my flight. I
Okay.
don't have a hotel yet. But I'll get there.
Oh, okay. You're gonna stay the same as me. I can't remember where I'm
Maybe,
staying
maybe.
now, though.
We'll see.
I'll have to. I can't remember where I'm staying. I'll have to find out and let you know.
At this point, I'm gonna do one of those like websites where it's like, get a hotel tonight. Figure out.
Oh, really?
Figure it out when I
Okay.
get there. Yeah.
Well, you can message Fable and see if you can use his sofa.
Yeah. No. His wife just had a baby, didn't she? Or she's like.
Oh, she's about to. I think in the next 2 weeks, about to have a baby.
Yeah. No way.
Uh,
I'm not about to bother what they got going on.
You won't enjoy your holiday in New York if that happens. If you're like waking up all night, crying baby, you'll be like, no way, man. No, definitely 100% no. Anyway, like I know we were holidays and stuff, but have you watched any telly or films or anime or done any or read anything?
Nope. I have not done any of the things.
You've not done any of them?
No, I haven't. I watched some stuff on the plane. So I had
Yeah.
the first time I've had a layover in a really long time. So it was a 15-hour flight to Dubai, and then it was 10 hours from Dubai to Cape Town. And what did I watch on the plane? Oh, I watched like old stuff. I watched Jungle Cruise.
Oh,
I've never
terrible.
seen that. And then I rewatched stuff that I'd already seen. Like I watched Shang-Chi like
Oh
3
yeah,
times.
good film.
Really
What, 3 times on the one film on the one flight?
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Wow.
It was 15 hours. I had to do something.
I was trying to wrap my brain. It's like, what have I really watched? I can't think of too much, like other than the film we're going to talk about. So obviously we're going to talk about the Kingsman later, but so obviously spoiler alerts as always.
Yeah.
And then I watched last night a film called Stowaway with Daniel Day Kim, and and what's the name? Yeah, and the girl from Twilight, the one who's Bella's best friend, what's the name?
Anna Kendrick?
Yeah. And there's 2 other people in it who I can't remember who they are. Or maybe I should look them up now as I'm actually talking about it. There's literally only 4 people in the whole film, so I normally hate films like this. Yeah, Anna Kendrick, Daniel Day Kim, Tony Collette. Do you know her?
Oh, I love Tony Collette.
And then there's a guy in it whose name I might struggle to pronounce, Shamia Anderson.
I don't know that person.
Hold on, let me just look up.
Do you not know who Tony Collette is?
Yeah, no, I didn't know her name though. Like I recognize the actress. So, okay, he's in Invasion. He's in John Wick 4, which hasn't come out yet. He's done a lot of TV, like Wyatt Earp, Shots Fired. He's done loads of TV. I don't know. Okay, so 3 pilots aboard a spaceship go lock onto like some sort of space station type thing. They're on their way to Mars. And then Tony Collette's character is in one of the rooms on the spaceship, and for some reason she decides to open a panel in the room, like in the ceiling, and then she opens the panel, and all of a sudden, Shamir's character Michael is like in the roof of the spaceship and just sort of falls out, and he's like whole side is injured and all the rest of it. Basically, he was like some sort of mechanic, which was helping put the ship, I don't know, doing some final checks on the ship before it took off. And somehow he got sealed into the roof a couple of hours before takeoff, and was never meant to end up in space. And so he is the stowaway. So obviously he has a complete panic when he looks out the window and sees Earth down below. As you would do. I don't think I'd be too pleased if I was meant to be.
Even if you had been sleeping when you got locked into the ceiling, you would have felt the G-force of them leaving the Earth's orbit.
Well, obviously that didn't happen in this film. So, I think I would have woke up like in the ceiling, like what the crap is going on out there?
Woke up freaking screaming. Yeah.
There's nothing you can do at that point. Like you're fairly committed at that point.
Yeah.
So when it started, I thought, okay, so I didn't know anything about it. I knew it was a space thing, and I knew that somebody obviously stowed away, hence the name Stowaway. So what I thought was that he was going to be some sort of psycho, because obviously there's a bit of mystery initially, like who is he, how did he get on the ship, blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, this is going to be one of those, is he a good guy, is he not, like, and something's going to happen. No, that's not what the film was. Okay. It's just a survival film basically, because obviously it's a 2-year mission, they're going to Mars to come back again,
and they didn't calculate enough oxygen and food for a fourth
person. Exactly. So lots of things.
13, I know how this works.
And there's a lot of things like this now where they're and yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you like survival, it's very slow. However, the last sort of 20 minutes are quite action packed, where they have a last minute ditch plan to try and they have some idea of something they can do outside the ship, which will try and generate more oxygen, blah 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 blah. And 2 of them go outside, and obviously only one of them comes back. It's a little bit action packed at the end, but it's generally slow. It's all right, like it's okay. I reckon most of the money went into the backgrounds, the spaceship itself. I'm not a big fan of like films that don't have much in the way of cast. Actually, what's his name? Matt Damon's The Martian, I thought was really good.
Oh yeah, The Martian was good.
I love that film. Honestly, I've watched that film a couple of times. I think it's really, that is a film that's done well, like for somebody with very little cast.
You should watch The Silent Sea.
I don't know that film. What is it?
It's not a film. It's a Netflix series. It's a series, but it's basically pretty much the same plot. It's like Earth is dying. They send a team to the moon to collect water, and then some shit goes down when they're on the moon, and not everybody makes it back.
Okay, I'll watch it at some point. I've been starting to watch Ozark again, so season 4. Have you watched Ozark?
No, a lot of people have recommended it, but I haven't started that series.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I've been taking my time with season 4 because I know that the final season of season 4 is, it's just I didn't want to binge it because I didn't want it to be over too quickly. So they split season 4 into 2 parts. The second part comes out at the end of April, I think. Okay. So I'm assuming I would have done the first part by then. The other thing I read, I haven't read many comics this year. I've been a bit rubbish, but I read the second issue of She-Hulk, and I don't know if you guys remember, I did talk about the first issue. I really loved it, and I actually really enjoyed this second issue too. So,
cost of entry was not very high, so even
that was in the first issue. The second one, they did do a little bit. So I said the first of it issue ended with a character called Jack of Hearts, who I don't know anything about. Mm-hmm. They kind of spent a lot of the second issue filling you in on Jack of Hearts, so I don't know anything about him at all. So they kind of gave you a lot on his background. I didn't mind that, but I don't really see him as a character I'd probably care that much about, but we'll see where it goes. So, but I thought it was an all right so far. I quite enjoyed it. So, yes, that's kind of like, oh, and obviously I always keep up with The Walking Dead as well. So, yeah, I'm enjoying the Commonwealth storyline, and I'm glad that they're not going to spend 3 seasons on the Commonwealth. That it literally is half a season. So I think
very behind.
I think they learned from their mistake of making Negan like 3 seasons or whatever they did with Negan. The Negan storyline was too big. It's too long.
Apparently, it wasn't big enough because now he's got a whole spinoff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not going to be him, as a bad guy. So
you don't think so?
He's a good guy now. He's trying to find redemption.
I really hate redemption arcs. I really do. I really do. What is wrong with the bad guy being a bad guy?
Yeah, but you can't have the bad guy be the bad guy forever, can you?
Why not?
Just how TV and media works. They never have the bad guy just be the bad guy.
Come on, somebody needs to just step up and let the bad guy be the bad guy. Like,
did you ever watch Farscape?
No, heard of it, never watched it.
Okay, so Farscape was like this sci-fi. I think it was mainly like Australian. I'm not sure if it was American and Australian, but most of the cast were Australian. The lead actor was American, but other than that, I think it was Australian. Anyway, I always remember this. The main character made a joke around, so it was 4 seasons, and then they had a 2-hour movie at the end to wrap it all up. And I think it was I want to say it was quite early on in season 4, where the main character makes a joke, kind of similar to what you're saying. He goes, how is it? He goes that we have, I don't know if he called them the bad guy, but like we have the bad guy who spends ages chasing us, then they join us, and then we get another bad guy who chases us, and then they join us, and all the rest of it. And I was like, this is the first time a character's actually referenced what happens in TV shows, because that is what happens generally. If they're a really good bad guy, they eventually join the good guys.
I hate
that. But that's pretty much what happens in every TV and movie. No, not movie. Normally in movies, they do stay bad guys. They don't often change in movies, but it's TV where they and comics, I think, tend to gravitate towards the good in the end because people start to love the bad guy. So
I want the bad guy to die the bad guy. I don't want the bad guy to be a good guy. I like the bad guys, and I want the bad guys to stay bad the whole time.
But it's because people love them, and then they're like, I think the creators think, well, we can't have them be the bad guy forever.
Oh, come on, people. That's an audience problem. The audience needs to reconcile. You know what? I really like the bad guy, and I am okay with it. That's where the audience needs to get to.
Yeah, I think people do have there's that TV show, The Originals. The Vampire Diaries spin-off. And one of the things I used to always think when I was watching it was, none of these characters are likable. They're all out for themselves. They're all one way or the other. I know the mum, was the character Haley? I can't remember her name now. The mum of the girl from Legacies, I forget her character's name. She was probably about the nicest character in it. But other than that, it's mainly the male characters who are the leads, were all out for themselves and completely unlikable. And basically had no problem killing anyone. And I think it went on for 5 seasons or something. And I was like, how is it that they've made a show that's lasted this long where pretty much it is bad guys like that? There's not many shows like that where the main characters are just completely horrible people.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones.
Well, Game of Thrones is
letting the bad guys be the bad guys. Seriously, died a bad guy, which was perfect.
Yeah. Cersei was actually just horrible through and through. Completely.
But that's what I want more of. I want more of the bad guys that are just bad till their dying breath. I don't want them to have redemption arcs. I want them to just embrace being shitty.
I don't know how I forgot about Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Yeah, Cersei was a good bad guy, and actually there was a lot of in Game of Thrones they were really good at having the bad guys last quite a while, and then dying bad guys and not getting redemption.
Yes.
And then
nobody wanted Joffrey to have a redemption arc.
I don't think Joffrey could have earned a redemption. I don't think Joffrey even knew what redemption was. Like that guy was not getting redeemed like at all. Like so.
I think Jaime is the only one that kind of had some sort of redemption arc, but like out of 15 characters that were horrible.
Yeah, actually, actually, out of all of them, he was the only one who started to come around. Although he had a weak spot for his sister, who was horrible through and through, because they had weird love. Yeah. So,
but still, I love Cersei, and I love that she was just awful to the very, very, very end.
I can't think of anything where they've actually any TV shows where they've actually had a bad guy be through and through bad guy, like, and not been redeemed.
Spartacus, I would say the bad guys.
Oh, I've never seen Spartacus.
What you've watched Spartacus finally?
No, I've never watched Spartacus. Geez. Outlander was pretty good, actually. Outlander. Who is it? You've never watched Outlander, have you?
Outlander is not diverse enough for me.
Oh, well, because it's like all white people. I do you know the only reason why I watched Outlander is because I love it's not a massive part of the show, but like the time travel bit got me interested. Like, that was it. So I know I do. So Tobias Menzies. He was Tobias. Anyway, he played two characters. He played a character in the early 19th century, just after World War I or II, called Frank. But then he also played his descendant called Jack Randall. And Jack Randall was like the most horrible through and through garbage person going, like rapist, murderer, just vile. He died a bad guy. Like there's no redemption for Jack Randall. So yeah, there's not many TV shows I can think of where they do have bad guys through and through. But yeah, Jack Randall was a true piece of garbage. So it's got me thinking now. We should do an episode like dedicated to like true bad guys.
I would love that. That would be amazing.
That's got me thinking now. We don't normally do this while we're recording, but yeah, that's definitely an idea. Like, we should note that down.
The behind the scenes stuff.
Well, yeah, we should definitely do an episode where we just talk about bad guys. Anyway, should we talk about some news? So we're only going to talk about one piece of news. You can.
News, but guys, this piece of news was literally the slap heard around the world. I woke up this morning to so many messages because of the time difference. I missed everything. Let me just preface this by saying Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock on national television during the Oscars last night, and it was insane.
I don't really get it. Like, I mean, I get defending your wife, but like,
listen, man, he told him, he straight up said, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." That's what.
Yeah, I know, but like, could he just have not spoke to him afterwards? Like,
he was, I don't know, man. Heat of the moment. You just won an Oscar yourself. You're pretty, adrenaline is flowing. Maybe it was just like you said the wrong thing at the wrong time.
No. Like, I don't get me wrong. Like, I'm sure I might see red or something, but national TV, man. Like, can you not just wait? Like, there's going to be a commercial at some point. Like, just go do it. Like, the only thing is though, with mobile phone.
Interesting so far.
Hey.
Just like the commentary around it has
been so far. Oh, the memes.
Yeah, the internet wastes no time.
Well, the memes are just insane already.
The motto is don't start none, won't be none. All right, like, you don't start no shit, ain't gonna be no shit. It's very.
The thing is, like, you got to think though, as a comedian, they always go near areas they shouldn't go near. And I mean, I've seen plenty of people walk off stage because comedians have like gone too far about people's partners and stuff like that. I've seen it before, like even here, like UK comedy stuff where they've insulted people and they just walked off stage. And I don't know, man. Like slap. I don't know why. Just I don't really get the slap. Like,
I mean, to like come all the way up to the stage to do it too. Like,
yeah, I know.
he was definitely seeing red.
Oh yeah. And then he was pretty vocal, like about keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Like it just makes me think, like, was he having a bad day already?
I don't know.
Like,
Something like that to me seems like they definitely had some beef in the past. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that is not something where someone says something to you one time and you fly off the handle. Like that is that is some underlying like I'm entirely sick of your shit. Like that there is a backstory there that I for sure.
Yeah, it just seemed like a massive jump. Like he just makes
I
one
mean, it was
comment
an
about,
extreme reaction for sure.
yeah, like one comment about his wife. And yes, not no one wants their wives or partners or family members insulted. But comedians always do push the boundaries. I mean, look at Ricky Gervais. Like what's the award show that he does every year?
Oh, the Golden Globes.
Yeah. Honestly, oh, I one night actually watched back every single Golden Globe thing he's done, but he like gets on stage and just destroys everybody. And every year though, he gets worse and worse. Like, and
I think if Harrison Ford was not as old as he is, Harrison Ford would definitely have been that person that like walked up on stage and slapped the shit out of Ricky Gervais.
well, I think Mel Gibson's come pretty close. So
Oh man.
I think Mel Gibson's come very close to taking out Ricky Gervais. But I think Ricky Gervais probably one day will have his day, but people seem to like Ricky Gervais. So I don't know. Like, I think he shocks Ricky Gervais, but still people like him. That's the impression I get. What's that guy? The one who played his character in The Office, Steve.
Steve Carell.
Yeah. I always love seeing the two of them when Ricky Gervais is like on stage and he's giving him shit, like, he's like, oh, you all think he created The Office or whatever. You all think it's him, blah, 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 but it's me. Like, and you can see Steve Carell just sitting there, but you know that they probably both love each other. Like, but like they just.
So I think the difference is though, like Ricky Gervais picks on things that I don't know, things that people already know about.
Yeah.
But to go after something as personal as like someone who has suffered like hair loss, like I don't know, it's one thing to make fun of someone or to tease someone about something that they are comfortable with, but like it's another thing to tease someone about something that they're extremely insecure about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I don't know what's. Do you know? I don't know why Jada Pinkett Smith's got short hair. Is there a reason why she's got short hair? I don't actually know.
I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but I saw somewhere, I haven't had a chance to catch up, but somewhere that she has alopecia, and that in that case, usually with alopecia, you lose all of your hair, so you wind up bald.
So then you can understand like why Will Smith then probably did boil, because like
like I said, if it's something that's common, like if you're making fun of something that person has already themselves made fun of, that's a different thing. But to make fun of something that's really personal or something that you're still really insecure about, I think that's something different.
And when I was younger, like, gosh, we used to hang around with a guy who had alopecia, and wherever we used to go, he used to wear a baseball cap, and like a lot of places don't like you to wear a baseball cap in pubs and clubs and stuff like that. So we used to have to, honestly, it was such hard work. Everywhere we went, we like all of us would have to speak to the bouncers on the door and say, look, he's not being disrespectful. He's not trying to hide his face, but he's like 24 years old and has lost his hair. Like, and so many times bouncers just wouldn't believe us. So in the end, we'd have to take the cap off and then they could see, and then they'd be like, oh, all right, we'll make an allowance. And it's like, how is it every time like we go somewhere, we've got to have a conversation with someone about his hair loss problems, and like, people just not being particularly understanding. Like, so I don't, I mean, if that is true, like, you got to think, like, for a woman as well, losing her hair must be horrible. So like, it's no one wants to lose their hair, but like I don't want to lose mine. Like, get worried now. Like my dad doesn't have any. I think he had none from like 40, and I'm like 40. Don't want it to disappear. I don't want to be one of those guys that has no hair on the head and that has to make up for it with a beard. So I know I have a beard right now, but I don't want it to be up. But I'd be like, have to grow like a massive one, like a Father Christmas beard, just like to make up for it.
To make up the difference.
Yeah. It's like not up. It's not up here now. It's all down here.
Yeah.
But no, like you can imagine if that is if that is the case with her, she must be pretty embarrassed. And Will Smith's obviously just defending his wife if that's the case. Like, and like you say, maybe just speculation now. Just maybe they're just like, maybe Chris Rock and Will Smith have had some problems.
Yeah.
That not people know about, and he's like, do you know what? I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, I mean that definitely seems like that was the thing. Like it was just one step too far,
Yeah. Or
could he have done something differently? Yes, sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like I ain't mad at it.
Well, yeah, I mean, is there an alternative to him, people? Absolutely. Like, speak to him afterwards, like, or speak to him right there and then. Say, look, man, that's not on.
You could have just keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. You could have left it at that.
Just left it at that, like, or even if he went all the way over, got up on the stage, walked all the way over, and just said, "That man, stop with the jokes."
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure he would have backed down still then. Like, I heard that apparently Chris Rock isn't going to press charges.
Why would he?
No, I mean he's got a lot of witnesses.
Well, I mean, but still, I don't know. It's almost like, and of course, this is not always the best thing to do, but it's almost like that old school, like 30 years ago when you and one person had a beef and you hashed it out and then it was over. There was no police, there was no guns, there was no like knives, no weapons, no nothing. It was just like two people, you had a little fight and that was the end of it. And it was not like, oh, I gotta get you back, or I'm gonna kill you and your whole family and your dog. Like none of that, like back in the old days where you just like you had your beef and you settled it and that was the end of it.
I always say this, I don't like drama. Like, I mean, I don't mind watching it on telly. But I don't like it in real life. I want to have a nice, simple life. I want to go to work. I want to come home. I want to get my pipe, get my slippers, like, get my blanket. I don't have any of that stuff.
This Father Christmas thing with the pipe.
Yeah. I don't have a pipe. I do have slippers though. I do have a dressing gown. I don't wear them all the time. In fact, I rarely wear my dressing gown. It's so rare. I probably wear that like 3 times a year.
Gown and then walk around with like a candlestick and like a fuzzy hat.
No,
that makes me think of like Scrooge.
I wear that dressing gown like 3 times a year. I barely wear it. If I'm cold, I grab my hoodie. Like,
you gotta post a picture of you in the dressing gown, man.
To who? like on social media, me in my dressing gown.
Oh my god!
You look at.
I can envision it now. Like, yes, hilarious.
So I just get abuse. Here's a picture of me in a dressing gown, so you lot all can just abuse me. Okay, sure. Should I get my slippers out too?
Yeah, of course.
My slippers were like a lot of money. Like they were like 60 quid slippers. Oh, they're probably they got like a chunky thing. They're really good for your feet.
Okay, seriously, I need a picture of the whole outfit.
I don't like
stop talking. Go put Michelle back on, and I just need to know. I want to hear it. I want to talk to her about this.
Maybe afterwards. Anyway, I'm not gonna stop this episode to go get some like slippers and a dressing gown.
It's fine.
How much have you had to drink? Anyway, should we talk about this film, which I'm dreading talking about?
Let's go ahead and get that over with.
I know. What? And then come back to the slippers. Yeah. Oh dear God! Right. Anyway, this week's review is The Kingsman.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Hold on. Before you say all the people that are in it and shizzle. It was released December 22nd over Christmas, so we were busy, thank God. It's from 20th Century Fox or 20th Century Studios. Fox no more. Disney have it now. It was meant to be released in November 2019, but due to that thing that people.
Really?
No, sorry, yeah, 2019, yeah. And then I don't know if you've heard about this thing called COVID-19. I mean, some people have heard of it. No, yeah. Apparently that pushed it back a bit. Just a couple of years.
Know that.
It's had mixed reviews apparently. Oh my god, shocker. Anyway,
I wonder why.
Budget of $100 million US. Guess how much it made?
85.
No, 125.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, break even at the very least.
Oh, I don't know if that 100 million includes marketing though. Anyway, it's on Disney Plus now, Joy. That's how I watched it. I didn't go to the cinema. So this is a prequel to some actually quite good movies: The Kingsman, Secret Service, and Kingsman: The Golden Circle. And do you want to tell everybody who's in it?
Yeah. So it is again a series based on The Secret Service by Mark Millar and Dave Gibbons. It is written by Matthew Vaughn and Carl Rajicek. Also directed by Matthew Vaughn, who directed the first two Kingsman films. This one stars Ray Fiennes, Jim Atherton, which I didn't even recognize him.
Oh, I didn't realize Rhys Evans was in it at all.
I did not recognize him. Matthew Good, Tom Hollander, Harris Dickinson, Daniel Bruhl, Jamin Hunsu, and Charles Dance.
We also got to talk about Matthew Good earlier in the year with Discovery of Witches season 3 and last year season 2.
So great in those, by the way.
Oh, I loved it when I saw him in this movie.
Yeah. And spoiler again, we always, preface everything with spoilers, but like when he first popped up on screen, I was like, oh, he's in here. I didn't know he was in this movie.
No, I didn't either.
It was so small. I was like, okay, what was the point of him being in this movie? And then I realized.
Yeah. I know. I kept thinking that. Why is he taking such a small role? But then I thought, oh, maybe it's just the jump from TV actor to movie actor. I started to think so.
I always think of him as a movie actor first before TV.
Well, I think I've only ever seen him in Discovery of Witches.
Oh, he's been in so much stuff. He was in like Chasing Liberty. He did so many rom-coms. He was like British rom-com king for a while back in the early 2000s.
It'll make me look him up now.
I'm so itchy because I got sunburned and it's like my cream is wearing off and now everything itches.
He did 3 episodes of The Crown. He did 7 episodes of Downton Abbey. I've never seen that. The Good Wife, he did 30 episodes on. He's done loads of TV. Death Comes to Pemberley. I don't know that. I don't know any of these movies. Match Point I've heard of.
Match Point.
Imagine Me and You.
Leap Year was really cute. I loved Leap Year.
Oh, he was in Watchmen. I've not seen that.
Liberty was really cute. He's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no. He's done a lot. But like, I was in Allied, which I've not seen, but I've heard of it. He's in Downton Abbey the movie as well. Maybe one day I might watch that. Probably not though.
Anyway, so the summary of this film is a prequel. It takes place right World War I guess.
Yeah, I think it's World War I. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a whole lot of war backstory. This one is basically about the formation of the Kingsmen and how they came to be the organization that we know them to be from the first two films. So basically it's setting the tone. It's not quite as like fun and gadgety as the first two films. Not nearly as kitschy. It's almost too serious for the Kingsmen that we're familiar with. So it feels a bit out of place, like within the franchise. It is quite slow. Again, quite serious.
Quite.
Just like I don't understand what we were trying to do here. So, but yeah, so that's basically the summary. It's the very very early stages where people who used to be part of the military and the Queen service decided, you know what, like I'm not sure that my country always has the best interest in mind. So I don't want to kill people for Queen country anymore. Like I want to do this in a different way.
Mm.
And it doesn't quite work out the way that Ray Fiennes' character wants to work out. And so um, he's got this like group of people. He's got allies that kind of come together from different parts of Europe. And eventually, by the end of the film, we get the formation of the very first round table, and we have our first Arthur and Galahad and Lancelot. So it's really fun to kind of see that part come together. But everything in between was just like, I don't know what we're doing here. I don't really know why we chose to go this direction. So we'll get into
Okay, well,
that for a little
I was
bit.
gonna say, do you want to summarize your thoughts of this movie? Like,
Yeah, it's like I just didn't understand the tone because
mm,
it still had some of those like super fun, super cool, like kitschy fight scenes where the fight choreography was still really awesome, but a lot like that was just sparingly used throughout the film
yeah,
versus like that being like the thing in the film.
mm,
Um, so this one was far more character driven than the other movies, but like it just took such a dark turn. Like again, spoiler, complete spoiler here, but like the first half of the film focuses on Ray Fiennes' kid. And then
mm,
freaking kid like dies. And it's just like, you literally just killed off the main character. Like, I don't understand what's happening here. And I thought that the way that they did that, they used that as a catalyst for, you know, his character, his Arthur character, to kind of come back and step back into the thick of it and break his own vow to himself about
yeah,
being passive.
yeah.
And it's like, why did you have to actually kill his kid to make that happen? Like, why did that have to be the sort of fuse? So I just thought that the tone couldn't figure out what it wanted to be. Like,
Mm.
is it going to be funny? Is it going to be fun? Or are we really going the serious route? And it tried to do all of those things, but because it tried to do so much, it didn't do any of them well.
I did not enjoy this film. That's probably going to start with that. I loved the first two. Like the first two had such charm. They were quirky. They were like kind of kept the same style from start to finish. Like you said about a minute ago, like this film's style was like all over the place. It was sort of quiet and somber and slow and almost depressing in points. And then all of a sudden they kind of throw in these crazy fight scenes and they suddenly brought in the style from the first two movies. And I don't know, like I think they should have sat down and said, right, what are we going to try and do here? We're going to try and do a serious war film.
Right.
And yeah, okay, we'll completely break the style of the first two. Like we won't have the crazy fight scenes. We won't like, you know, this is going to be a different type of film. In that case, they probably shouldn't have brought in Matthew Vaughn. They should have brought in a different director and said, look, yes, okay, this sets up the first two, but we're going for a completely different setup. We're going for something a lot more grounded.
Right.
But like, I think they were trying to do something grounded, but equally trying to be crazy.
Yeah, but that's the
And
thing. Like, they shouldn't have used real characters. If they were gonna go like a more grounded route, they should have
yeah,
just used fake people. Like,
yeah,
but they used real, you know, real people, real presidents, real politicians. Like, it's just and a real war. Like, why are we doing this? Like, we had so
yeah.
much fake stuff in the other ones where it's like all of these fake political events that happened
Hmm.
that it was easier to kind of have that suspension of belief because everything was fake, and so therefore it didn't take on that serious tone. But because they chose to use like real events and real character, real actual people, it was just kind of like I don't understand what we're doing. I just don't understand like what the reasoning was for that.
Yeah. No,
Like it would
I
have been
don't.
any different if they had just made up characters. Like make up some guy in Germany and make up some president for the US. Like it didn't have to be.
They do that in a lot of
So
film. They do that in a lot of film. They do that in a lot of films, don't they? Like they kind of, even if they set it in 1920s, it's with a fake whatever.
it's
Like
fake, fake people that that don't exist. Like I just it was bizarre. It was their use of actual events in this film was weird, and it felt so out of place for what we expect from this franchise.
I found, in all honesty, the film completely unenjoyable to watch. Like I just didn't understand what they were. I didn't really get what they were trying to do in terms of the story they were trying to tell. No, I get what they were trying to do story wise. I get that they wanted to try and tell an origin story of the Kingsman, but that took so long, like for them to put together. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of times organizations like CIA, FBI, MI5, probably all in real world had somebody didn't just sit down and go, do you know what, we need the CIA. Like I'm sure it's a combination of things that led to an organization like, like Homeland, your Homeland division, wasn't that created off the back of September 11th? Like,
sure was.
Like, so that obviously, but nobody sat down on the September 12th and said, we need to create Homeland. Like,
I'm pretty sure someone did though.
Well, but they probably didn't even have a name or like a structure. Like they probably said, maybe they said the next day we need something like this.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, from idea to inception probably took another 12 months, something like that. So I do get the creation of the Kingsman probably did take that amount of time to put together. But then that comes to a question of actually, is that enjoyable for us as a viewer to watch?
Yeah.
The inception of this agency, and then I started to think, well, would it have worked better if actually this was a Disney Plus miniseries, like 6 episodes, told in a much more, when you kind of know what you're getting. Like it's not going to be a movie, and movies normally have to come with high octane scenes and car chases and big fight scenes, and we said that there is still the crazy fight scenes. However, when you're outside the crazy fight scenes, it's actually quite slow. Like if they'd have actually had maybe
made the crazy fight scenes seem so out of place. It was like,
I know. If they, all I was thinking was if they just did a one-off like Disney Plus 6-episode miniseries, in which it was just okay, this is going to be the Kingsman origin series, but it's just going to be a much more grounded. How did this come about?
Right.
Would this not have been much more enjoyable to know that you're actually getting something where you're walking into a slow-paced TV series, and yes, you can choose to watch it. I don't know. I personally don't think it was maybe the right format for this either.
Yeah, I can see it being a show, but I think if it was going to go the TV route, it would need to have just been a spy thriller. Like
something that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, the big set in there, or just be straight spy thriller for 6 episodes while they try to figure out. Then it wouldn't have felt so weird. But also know your audience. Like the people that fell in love with Kingsman, they fell in literally in your first film. The big event that happens is people get brainwashed by cell phones. Like as out there and weird as that is, like that, but that is the audience that you collected with your first film. And in your second film, it was just as awkward, where it was like mind control and weird, it was very weird, right? So like the first 2 films in this franchise were weird and off the charts, and everyone loved it. And then you tried to have a third film, but your third film was
it's like serious mostly.
Yes, it was way too grounded in reality, and it was like, this is not what I signed up. Like I did not.
I
didn't come to this series.
I wanted a crazy film. I was hoping that really what we were getting was almost like a remake of the first film, but 100 years earlier. Like that's kind of what
you picked. Rasputin as one of your characters, like that. You could have totally just like went off the rails with Rasputin and let him be the bad guy, but instead, like Rasputin is a decoy, and by the time you get rid of him, it's like all the weird is gone, and now we're dealing with actual serious stuff. And again, like that's not why I watch this. I don't go and watch The Kingsman because like I want one of those fun historical dramas. No, I don't give a shit about history. Like I want to see really cool fight scenes, really ridiculous like gunplay. Like I want to see really cool gadgety like
That's what I wanted. Like,
Frank
yeah.
meets 007. Like that's the kind of shit that I expect to see when I watch Kingsman.
Crankfoot meets 007. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what we wanted. You know, do you remember the first Kingsman film where crap, I've forgotten his name, but the boy who's like got the baseball cap, you know, the one who becomes the Kingsman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you see him like getting chased by like his stepdad over all those roofs and jumping around, and he's doing all these backflips. And then later on, he like nicks his car and takes it for a joyride and all this kind of. They got the music by Dizzy Rascal, like Bonkers or whatever. And it's like I was hoping. I know they probably wouldn't use the same type of music, but I was actually really hoping that we were going to get like some sort of crazy ass film set at the beginning of the 20th century, and like. No, we're getting an actual war film with
Yes.
2 or 3 crazy weird fight scenes put in.
Yes.
Like,
It's like
and
if you're watching Dunkirk, but like the projectionist that put the film together mixed pieces of Dunkirk with like some other random movie.
like with Crank, like he threw in a few Crank clips with Dunkirk in. Like,
doesn't make
I've not
sense.
seen
Like, it
Dunkirk.
doesn't make
Like,
sense.
have you seen Dunkirk?
No.
No, I want to watch that though. Like, that is something I want to watch. Just time. Anyway,
Like the first film literally had a guy going ape shit in a church and murdering a church full of people. Like how
oh
do you
yeah,
go from
yeah.
murdering a church full of people to, you know, like
But also the girl with the sword legs.
yes.
Like, that was freaking awesome. The sword leg girl.
How do we
Like,
go from sword legs to Hitler? Like no.
oh yeah.
No.
I don't know. Just overall, it was painful experience.
Yeah.
Really painful. I actually Googled in the end to see what the reviews were like. I found mostly positive reviews, but like I have started to find more bad reviews too. Like, and overall, it is a mixed bag. I did find mostly positive, which I just didn't get. Like, I was like, did they watch a different film? Like, like I was like, did they just go and watch the original Kingsman? Like, so yeah.
This is I really want to say like this is the first time I've watched like a franchise film that is so completely different than the rest of the franchise.
Did you I've forgotten the name of it now. You know Kate Beckinsale. She was the vampire.
Okay,
Uh,
I take it back. So, Rise of the Lycans, which is the third film in the
yeah,
Underworld
yeah, yeah.
trilogy, is
Yeah, like because that was set up
far,
in the first
far
two films.
superior film because Underworld and Underworld 2 were garbage.
Oh, I liked them.
They were garbage. Rise of the Lycans was fucking tastic.
I liked the first two, but equally I loved the third film too. I thought what I liked was how the third film was set up in the first two, and then it was kind of almost like a plan that they were going to set up this film,
Now,
and then
see,
the
that's
third
doing the
film.
prequel right.
Yeah, and that was a prequel done really well, and that was a prequel which was not really associated with the first two, as we had a completely different main character. And yes, okay, there was a couple of people from the first movie that were in the third film, because obviously, you know, vampires live forever. But that was but that was what this reminds me of, like almost the same style. You know, we had Kingsman 1 and 2, and then The King's Man is the third film, the prequel, and then you've got obviously Underworld 1 and 2, and then they had the third one, which was basically it's like the same model. But Underworld was done so much better than this. And what I love is though, they, like you just said, know your audience. Underworld 3 had the same style, the same almost like tone on the screen. The fight scenes were the same, but all they did was just shift the cast, you know, and a couple 100 years. And they were really good films. I want to rewatch those films now. So I don't think Underworld 4 was as good, but I haven't seen
Rise of
5.
the Lycans is my favorite in that series, but Rise of the Lycans takes so you have played by Bill Nye.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. So Victor, played by Bill Nye, and then you have Lucian, who's
Oh
played
no,
by
you're still quiet.
oh, can you hear me?
Speak up a bit.
Hear me at all?
Yeah, better now. But
Okay, sorry. You have like two of the biggest characters though from the first film. You've got Victor and you've got Lucian that pop up in the third film, and so it's their backstory. So you take
yeah,
you take Kate Beckinsale out, but you still have two big guys. And this film doesn't have that because it goes so far back that it's like you're going back to before any of the people in the first film were even born. So I don't know. It just I don't know. I can understand what they were trying to do.
They let the dog in. He's decided to make a load of noise. But anyway, professionalism. Right. Anyway, yeah. I favorite character? I don't really have one. They were all terrible.
Jonathan Hunt's character, whose name I can't even remember. Chaman?
Whose character?
Jasmin Hunt. His character.
I don't remember. Gemma Atherton, whatever her name is, who plays Polly, she literally plays the same role in everything she's in. She doesn't deviate her acting at all. She is one of those reliable, quiet British girls who plays the same thing in everything she's in. Yeah, no, but she's the same in Quantum of Solace, and I don't know, she's just got the same mannerisms and all the rest of it.
That Titan movie.
Yeah.
Rise of Titan, whatever the hell it's called. Sam Worthington, Perseus, and Greek gods and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but she's the same, like in everything. Basically, she is just the same. Like she's consistent as being the same. Like Ralph Fiennes, I thought he did well.
I mean, yeah.
But like, maybe he just did well with what he was given. No, he did well with the terrible script, terrible everything, terrible direction, just terrible. Yeah, I didn't have a favorite character, I'll be honest with you. It was nothing to redeem this for me. Like, yeah, so we're both in agreement. I'll tell you what, should we flip it around? Did you ever who's your least favorite character?
Least favorite character. It would have to have been Matthew Good, honestly. Like, even before I knew it was him, like, I didn't like the Scottish guy who was the shadowy figure for the entire film until the very last.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that either.
Actually, Matthew Good. Like, I never liked that guy even when I didn't know who he was. Just because it was like too over the top, I guess. And that guy, he reminded me of the claw guy from Inspector Gadget. Because you never see his face until the very end.
I'll be honest, I hated Rasputin. I didn't even realize it was Rhys Evans until the end.
So stupid. That whole sequence was so stupid and out of place.
Oh, hold on a minute, I've got to sort the dog out. Hold on a second. Hold on. Apologies, technical issue. Yeah, Rhys Evans is Rasputin was the worst thing for me. I didn't get what was going on. It was like, why have they put this comical character in this overly serious movie? Also, it was so out of place.
He was the bad guy. Like the trailer really pushed it like Rasputin is the villain. When they pushed it that way, I was like, oh, we're super going like way far left field. Like, okay, this is gonna be cool. Like, we're gonna do historical, but we're gonna do Rasputin in like a cheesy way. Like, I'm down for that. That'll be great.
Well, he's on the front cover of the movie. So I thought he was the main bad guy.
Yeah, like, no, that was a bait and switch.
Anyway, do you feel that this did a good job setting up the first two?
Yeah, in the last 10 minutes.
I know.
The last 10 minutes of the film and nothing else. Sure. But like
I said this at the very beginning of watching the film. I was like, any money, this whole film has like nothing to do with it. And then the last 10 minutes, suddenly they put together the whole thing. Like, and that's literally what happened.
I mean, you could see that they were leading up to it because he gave his son the whole speech about like, I didn't want to in the country. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be working with my own moral compass. Like, I can see like how they placed those things throughout the film, but no, like this film as a whole does nothing to set up the actual Kingsmen, except they go to the tailors. They use the tailor shop as a place to kind of communicate and have a couple of meetings. They do specify like the importance of looking the part. But for the most, like it literally the last 10 minutes of the film, we finally get to the point where it's like, we got Arthur and we have Lancelot and we have Galahad. And it's like, now we're actually doing this. And I'm just like, this is bullshit. It's almost like it's cheating, right? Like
Yeah.
you decided to do a third film in the franchise. You decided to set that third film as a prequel, and then you literally did no heavy lifting in this film at all. Like if you were going to make this your prequel, this one should have done a lot more legwork than it did. And literally it's just like the last 10 minutes, it's like, okay, we're going to put everything in a room, we're going to do the round table, we really are going to be like the Knights of the Round Table, like we're going to make this work.
I know. Yeah, I agree with you. It literally was like suddenly rushed together in the last 10 minutes. They were like, oh, hold on a minute, isn't this meant to be a prequel?
Shit, we forgot what we were doing.
Yeah. I mean, there was a few little shout outs, like when they showed the American president who kept ordering Statesman, like whiskey or whatever, like, and that was obviously a shout out to the States. But I assume that the Statesman kind of was a spin off from the Kingsman from how the first two were. So what they're trying to say is that Statesman was already there. Like, I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like, I think it's just like a nod. Like, maybe the people that were part of the network had decided, like, so now that they have formed this thing in England, well, we've got this network of people, but like, obviously we can't work for England if we're still in these other countries. So I think it just kind of goes to show that the network eventually split off to become like the Statesman and whatever other countries are part of it.
Okay, let's quickly talk about the structure of this movie. So, other than the fact that my view on it is that it's a mess, like all of it is just a mess. There's some. Do you know what? Probably. I was thinking, do I have a favorite scene? I was going to say no, but I actually did enjoy in isolation Conrad when he was in the war in the trenches, and that whole scene. And it's again very different from the first two movies. And when he had to go out at night to rescue the spy who was in no man's land, and then they had the weird fighting with the other, with the, I assume it was like the Germans with the masks and stuff, and that was pretty cool. Like I thought that whole part, if they just stuck to this being a serious war film, that was actually a pretty cool scene on its own. And also seeing Conrad's bravery, because his dad had done some sort of underhanded stuff to get him taken off the front line. So Conrad basically took another soldier's identity so he could be on the front line because he wanted to be his own man. And I thought that's actually quite respectable. He wants to be his own man. He wants to save our country and, go to war and all this kind of stuff. And he puts his name up straight away and they say, need a volunteer. And like when he comes back, I couldn't believe when he got shot and killed. I was like, that was just so that, but in a way that moment was kind of cool because it was so unexpected. I did not expect that bit to happen, and when I was like, oh my god, they just killed him, I was like, what the heck? Like, but that whole moment, I would say, from the trenches and seeing the son step up and become a man, and some of the sort of the war mechanics were quite cool, like visually I liked that, like, but it didn't fit this type of film. So I'm just saying in isolation, if it's just a war film, that was a really cool scene. Personally, because I felt like majority of this was a war film, it made me like really hate all the cool fight scenes, which I loved from the first two films. Right, so because they were so out of place. Yeah. I think least favorite scene, in honesty, was the fight scene with Rasputin. Yeah. Oh, I literally said it before I can flipping say it. Like that movie was so bad. That part was so bad. Well, the movie was so bad, but like that was just awful. If there's anything I could cut or change, I'll be honest with you, I would probably not make this film.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
Yeah. Do you care about the end credits sequence?
No, because I don't want to know.
I don't care. Like, I know. I really hope this is a bomb.
And especially because like they brought in Hitler, and like
again, oh no.
This is something that I talked about when we talked about The Boys season 2. Like once you bring in the Nazis, you have lost all sense of like maybe the bad guys have a point. Like
Hmm.
because in the first Kingsman film, as crazy as Samuel L. Jackson's plan was, on the one hand, he kind of just wanted to like make everybody be on a level playing field, right? So there's part of you that can kind of sympathize with the bad guys' motives, but like once you bring in the Nazis, you lose that altogether because Nazis are always bad. There are no good Nazis, okay? Like
No
so there's no room for anyone to have any kind of like, well, maybe I can
redemption.
see where they're coming from, or maybe
Yeah.
like I can have a little sympathy for them. It's like, why? Like, why did we go the route of bringing in real people? Like in the
Mm.
first film, okay, there were real people. Like it was an Obama cameo, but like Obama was not an actual like character in the film, right? Like they didn't go to the White House and talk to Obama. Like that's not a thing that happened. Like I don't like it. I don't like that the focus became the actual historical figures. Like it's irrelevant at this point. Like you could have made up political figures that do bad shit and nobody would have known the difference, you know?
I when they introduced Hitler in the mid-credit sequence, like as if it was going to be a real shock twist, they were like, brought this guy in, didn't say who he was initially, and then they were like, "Yes, let me introduce you to Adolf Hitler or Hitler or whatever." So I was like, "Oh, eye roll." I was like, "Oh, here we go." I was like, "I really hope there is no sequel." Like, I really hope they can skip back and make a number 3 of the movies that they made originally.
Yeah.
Although now I'm not sure if I trust them. So
I think there's room for it. Like if you look at what they did with the Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law when they did the Sherlock Holmes films, those films, like you took characters that everybody knew, but like you put a twist on it and it was really kind of fun, right?
mm.
Like it was a different version of Sherlock Holmes than anyone had ever seen before, but it was still
Oh, I love those
fun
movies.
the way that they did it. And that's kind of what Kingsman felt like. And it's like you could have done historical stuff in that style,
Yeah.
but like you didn't. You chose not to. And I just don't understand. I really don't understand what they were trying to accomplish with this film. That's kind of where I'm stuck.
Mm-hmm. So ratings. What'd you rate it out of 5?
Two.
It's a show. Have we ever given a 0?
Two.
It's 0. Like I don't think we can give zeros. But 1?
You can give a half. 0.5.
Oh, okay, 0.5 then.
Okay. All right.
Like literally, this is the worst film I think I've ever seen. I actually think Venom 2 is better than this. At least I laughed during Venom 2.
Well, yes, but damn, I don't know. Is that bad?
Mortal Kombat is better than this.
Well, I mean, obviously, because Mortal Kombat's a 5. So
No, but I hated Mortal Kombat, and I would say that's better than this. I would watch Mortal Kombat again over this part of shit. Like, I would literally never watch this film again. Like, you couldn't pay. Well, you could pay me money to watch it. You could pay me money. If anyone wants to pay me a mil, I'm here. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not watching this film again. It is a bad movie. Like, I'm sorry, it is terrible.
It's a mess. It had so much potential. It had some really cool scenes. Like,
Not sure if it had any.
My favorite scene would probably be like the sequence in that barn elevator structure towards the end when Ralph Fiennes is fighting that big giant guy and Jaimin Hunsu comes in and then Jim Atherton like shoots the counterweight for the elevator. Like that whole sequence was a lot of fun. But like everything else.
Nah, man. This is terrible movie.
Yeah.
I hope they get their money back. So,
I mean,
I know they kind of like look. Just I know we weren't in COVID, right? But the Golden Circle.
The thing is, like, you have the formula again. This is the third film. This was the third film in a franchise behind 2 really successful films.
No, I was gonna say, listen to
change it. Why
did
you change the format?
Listen to this, like 2017. I know that's pre-COVID, right? The Golden Circle budget of 104 mil, just like the third one, made 410 mil. People still went and saw Spider-Man. same time, came out like, I don't know, a couple of days earlier or something. People are still in droves to see Spider-Man. No, I know Spider-Man's bigger.
Yeah.
But people were going out. People were not afraid to go out. People would have gone and seen this film if they thought it was a good movie. Clearly, people knew the truth. So, if you'd have made a sequel to The Golden Circle set a couple of years afterwards, they didn't need to do this prequel, honestly. They could have made one of those.
They could have done a prequel, but I think that
they should have done it like Sherlock Holmes, like you said, like Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. They should have done that.
Like you made a prequel without keeping your audience in mind.
That's that is a big problem. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this film ever again. I probably will talk about it again because of how bad it is. But I was actually looking forward to this. When I suggested it, I was like, oh yeah, I really want to watch this film. I did not read the reviews. Hey?
Watched it.
I guess
it could be one of those. We watched it, so you don't have to.
Yeah. We just did you lot a favor.
Yeah, we did you a big favor.
A big favor. Huge, honestly. Anyway, next episode on Geeks Unleashed, we are bound to watch something which is probably going to be terrible, but at least funny. We're gonna.
I think this next thing is going to be worse than this film.
No way! Like this is going to be funny. I'm telling you. We'll. I reckon we'll at least laugh about it when we're on here.
We'll see.
So we're gonna review Morbius. I can't even say it with a straight face. I want to watch it though. I do want to watch it. Like I want to know like how have they got Michael Keaton in it? How have they got Michael Keaton in it? I do want to know all that stuff. I do want to know about the serious stuff. But I honestly think Jared Leto should stop after this. He should just stop. Go into construction or something else, or I don't know. Like he should just choose a different career. Or he should go into comedy, because he's almost there now. Like,
wow, Mark, you are just like on a tear tonight.
I haven't even seen this film, but I know it's going to be bad. Like, but I want to watch it though. I do want to watch it. I am keen to watch it. I'm going to walk in with an open mind. I will walk in with an open mind because I can walk out and say, do you know what? That was good.
I have never had any interest in this film ever.
No, I am interested. I am genuinely interested. I want to know what Michael Keaton's doing in it.
So basically, this next week could be another we watched it so you don't have to kind of thing. So,
No. Still watch it anyway. Michael Keaton's good. You should always support Michael Keaton.
I don't think that he has a very large part. Like he probably says 25 words.
Well, I am Batman.
Yeah.
That would be so funny if he said that. Oh, I would actually die if he says that. Or I am the Vulture. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm the Vulture. Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, that would be so funny. Anyway, Geeks and Niche is on all your social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So hit us up, like us, tweet us, do all that thing.
You can get this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, Google, Podbean, Apple, Spotify. We are everywhere. So please give us your 5-star review and tell your geeky friends.
We'll see you next week.
Good
Morbius. Well, you will have a good journey back home.
Yeah, very long journey.
All right. Anyway, see you later.